tell you that it's been a troubling and violent week in Diepsloot, north of Johannesburg. Now the Police Minister, Bheki Cele, has deployed a special task team to the area with huge concerns of Diepsloot residents north of Johannesburg intensifying. He says he will increase police visibility with the presence of the Tactical Response Unit to help tackle crime and unresolved cases. Here's the background. Diepsloot residents taking to the streets earlier this week demanding that undocumented foreign nationals be removed. They accuse them of committing crimes, also coming after a police officer was murdered in the area. Let me take you live now to Diepsloot. ENCA's Aviwe Mtila is working that story for us on this Saturday morning. Aviwe, good morning to you. So first of all, this Tactical Response Unit that the Police Minister has promised, have we seen them?
Not as yet, Jeremy. It's on the lips of most community members that I've spoken to here this morning, waiting with bated breath for that special task team, also known as Amaperete, to arrive here after the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, said that he'd be deploying a special task team to come and deal with the situation here at Diepsloot. Really, everything has gone back to normality here. The only sign of the protests around here are really just the damage in and around here. I'll ask my colleague Mohammed just to show you concrete dustbins that have been left by community members here. Really a sight as we drove around in around Diepsloot, a site that we've become familiar with, just the damage of property, tires that have been burnt down on the streets, and as well as containers. There was a huge metal container left right in the middle of a road here. Of course, that being pushed by community members in, of course, the protests that we've seen over the last couple of days, complaining about foreign nationals, as we'd understand, that undocumented, saying that it's not that they're xenophobic, but they want every foreign national that resides in Diepsloot to be documented. And in fact, that is in fact fighting the crime levels that they've seen here, that have also been mentioned by the Police Minister here, Bheki Cele, saying that a lot of murder cases and rape cases, as well as robberies, have gone undocumented, have gone unresolved, in fact. So the special task team will also include an investigating unit that will actually look back into some of the crimes and unresolved cases of previous years, Jeremy.
The calm, Aviwe, that you talk about this morning obviously belies underlying tensions in the area. As far as the foreign nationals themselves are concerned, have we had any response either individually or via a group to the developments that were announced by the Police Minister? And I'm also interested to know this morning whether their businesses are open.
Well, you'd be quite surprised that as we drive around, many of those shops haven't been open. In fact, the shops that we really seen, the stalls that we've been speaking to, are actually South African nationals. We do understand as well here that the Minister also touched on over 400 shops and stalls here that they need to verify, to check that, in fact, if they are licensed. Now, we don't see a lot of them around here today. We do, in fact, only in fact, see South African nationals that have put up their stalls. You'd understand that the levels of fears that are around here. So I haven't seen many foreign nationals myself. In fact, I haven't come across one foreign national myself, assuming that they are, in fact, in fear of the recent spates of violence that we've seen over the last number of days.
Given the violence, Aviwe, that we have witnessed over the past couple of days, one would think that the deployment of the Tactical Response Unit would come sooner rather than later. What's the expectation here? Is this going to happen today?
Well, that's the word, Jeremy, that we don't know when it's going to happen. I was, in fact, speaking to a number of community members who say that it could be next week. They themselves aren't sure when this tactical special team will be deployed. We heard from the Minister that within 24 hours, we do expect that Amaperete will be here. That 24 hours hasn't lapsed as yet, but the community themselves aren't sure when that task team will be deployed. You'd understand the Minister himself in that speech yesterday with the community members around did mention that if it were up to him, he would in fact get in the soldiers on the scene, but saying that in fact that could take a lot of time because he would have to speak to other ministers in those various portfolios and speak to the president to get in those soldiers. But to get us some sort of a quick remedy, he did say that he'd deploy a special task team which would include Amapareta. That is within his parameters, and he did promise that within 24 hours that special task team will be deployed here in Diepsloot.
All right, for the moment then, things quiet in Diepsloot, north of Johannesburg, after a week of violence. Bheki Cele will check in with you a little later. Now.